Okay, so when I say country music, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably cowboy hats, maybe some pickup trucks, right? Well, what if I told you the real story is way more wild, with roots that stretch across oceans and a history that's basically one big, constant remix? Today, we're going to trace country's incredible journey from quiet mountain porches all the way to the top of your global streaming charts. Let's do this. So right off the bat, here's the big puzzle we need to solve. How is it possible that a style of music that's over 100 years old is still a massive chart-topping hit today? I mean, in a world of viral TikTok sounds that last about a week, how does this old-school genre stay so incredibly relevant? That's the mystery we're unpacking. To crack this case, we have to do a little time traveling. We're going way back to the origin story of country music. And you've got to forget about Spotify, forget about recording studios. This music was born in a totally different world, on front porches and around campfires. Think about it like this. Before you could just hit record on your phone, music spread like a viral challenge. It was literally passed from one person to the next. What we call country today was born in the Appalachian Mountains, and it was this incredible blend of old folk songs from European immigrants and the powerful rhythms and instruments, like the banjo, brought over by enslaved Africans. It was, for real, the original community playlist. So what was this early music all about? Well, it was basically the community's diary, just written in song. The lyrics told stories about real life, love, loss, working a tough job. The melodies were simple, catchy, so everyone could sing along. This wasn't just background noise. It was how people shared their history and reminded each other they weren't going through this stuff alone. And the instruments they used, well, they had to be portable, stuff you could carry around. The fiddle was a huge star. Its sound could be so expressive it felt like it was singing the words. The guitar laid down that steady rhythm, kind of like the heartbeat of the song. And then there's the banjo, which gives country that sound you just can't mistake. And get this, the banjo's roots go directly back to instruments from West Africa, a totally crucial piece of the genre's DNA. For a really long time, this music pretty much stayed local. It was a community thing. But then, technology showed up and gave country music a massive power-up. All of a sudden, the sounds from those quiet mountain porches were about to go national. So in the 1920s, for the first time ever, music could be captured on records. You had record companies heading south, hunting for new sounds, and they started recording what they called hillbilly music. Yeah, that was the actual label, and it stuck around for a while. Then, in 1927, you have this huge moment called the Bristol Sessions. It was basically a talent search that discovered the genre's first real stars. But the ultimate game changer? Oh, that was the radio. You think live streams are a new thing? Not a chance. Shows like the Grand Ole Opry were basically the world's first massive weekly music live streams. Seriously. Every Saturday night, millions of families all across America would gather around their radios to listen together. It created this huge shared national experience, and artists could become famous practically overnight. So once country music was out there for everyone to hear, artists started to play with it. They began mashing it up with other sounds that were popular, creating all these new, exciting subgenres. You can really think of them as the very first country remixes. One of the first big remixes was Western swing, coming straight out of Texas and Oklahoma. Artists took the classic country string band and just slammed it together with big band jazz. They added drums, they added horns, they made this high-energy music that you just had to dance to. And then Hollywood got involved, and the whole singing cowboy thing became the new face of the genre. Now, while some musicians were adding drums and electric instruments, others went in the complete opposite direction. They created bluegrass, and you should think of this as like the extreme sports version of country music. It is purely acoustic, but with lightning-fast playing, super high harmonies, and these mind-blowing solos. It's all about pure, raw technical skill. Then, after World War II, you see this huge shift in American life. People started moving from farms into the cities to get jobs in factories. And the music, of course, moved right along with them. This is where honky-tonk comes from. It was played in loud, crowded bars, so musicians had to plug in electric guitars just so people could hear them. And the lyrics? They got a lot grittier, talking about loneliness and the struggles of city life. Okay, so with all these new styles popping up, a big question started to bubble to the surface. What even is country music anymore? This whole thing set the stage for a massive creative showdown, a battle for the very soul of the genre. And a great way to think about it is like a big-budget blockbuster movie going head-to-head with a gritty indie film. by the 1950s, Nashville, Tennessee had officially become the capital of country music. All the big record labels, all the songwriters, they all set up shop there, and they turned the city into this well-oiled, hit-making machine. This was the headquarters for the blockbuster side of the argument, and they had a very specific formula for what made a hit song. And this is where the big clash really happens. On one side, you've got the Nashville sound. This is your blockbuster movie. It was super polished, smooth, with violins and backup singers, all designed to be a massive hit on mainstream pop radio. But a lot of artists felt like that wasn't real. It wasn't authentic. So they kicked off the outlaw movement. This was your indie film. Raw, honest, back-to-basics music where the artist, not the record label, was in complete creative control. And you know what? That tension, that push and pull between the polished pop sound and the raw, honest truth, between tradition and trying something new, that has been the engine that has kept country music evolving ever since. It's why it has a never-ending story. So let's fast forward to right now. Today, country music is a global monster. It's blending with stadium rock and pop. Its biggest stars sell out arenas all over the world. It has a massive online fan base. But even with all the new sounds and flashing lights, that one thing from the very, very beginning is still at the absolute core of it all: powerful, honest storytelling. So if you only take one thing away from all of this, let it be this. Country music is a living, breathing story. It is always changing, always soaking up new sounds and new ideas from the world around it, but it never completely lets go of its roots in telling real, human stories. And that brings us right back to our big question from the start. The reason this 100-year-old sound is still topping the charts is because it never stops changing. It's always reflecting what's happening in the world. So I'll leave you with this to think about. With artists now mixing in sounds from hip-hop, from pop, from rock, what do you think the next chapter of country's incredible story is going to sound like? Thanks for digging into this with me.